Hi there. My name is Annalyse Denio. It's nice to see many of you again. I am a senior policy analyst with LeadingAge New York, but I thank you today for giving me the opportunity to present the testimony of our member, Stuart Kaplan, who is CEO of Selfhelp Community Services. And he's honored to, although he wasn't able to be here, he's honored to be able to share his insights on the critical needs of aging adults across the state. Selfhelp's unique approach to serving all older adults is rooted in its longstanding work with Holocaust survivors, which has taught them that every person deserves compassionate, trusted, and innovative care that respects their life experiences. Today, Selfhelp provides affordable housing, home care, and community-based services to 25,000 individuals in the greater New York City metropolitan area. A 2023 study conducted by the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University concluded with the well-acknowledged fact that the population of older adults is rapidly growing, and with it comes an urgent need to expand innovative housing solutions that allow older adults to age at home safely and with the support that they need. New York State is no exception to that need. For older adults, the stress of unstable housing worsens existing mental and physical conditions, and unfortunately, Selfhelp is increasingly seeing homelessness in this population and how the provision of housing is life-changing at any age. Affordable senior housing is therefore not just an investment in the brick and mortar, it's an investment in its people, in communities, and in the financial sustainability of our healthcare systems. And it can help low-income older adults avoid unnecessary crises, hospitalizations, and premature institutional care, all of which come at a high human and financial cost to individuals and taxpayers alike. Proudly serving as a key stakeholder on the Master Plan for Aging with colleagues from across the state, Stuart would like to commend the plan's emphasis on housing as a critical social determinant of health and its recognition of innovative models like the resident assistant program outlined in legislation carried by Chairs Rosenthal and Kavanaugh. This type of program, modeled for more than 50 years at Selfhelp, brings social services on-site to affordable senior housing, connecting residents to the supports they need as they age safely in their own home. Most affordable senior housing buildings, however, including those financed by state or city, financed by the state or the city, currently have little or no financial path to providing this much-needed service. That's why we're urging the committees to support this legislation, as well as an investment of $10 million over 5 years, as Stacy said, $2 million per year in the budget to bring resident assistance into every affordable senior housing building statewide. Years of published research has shown us that this model yields extraordinary returns, and by championing affordable senior housing and ensuring on-site services, this year's budget could be pivotal in empowering older New Yorkers who have given so much to our communities in the state, and letting them age with dignity in their communities while safeguarding the sustainability of our healthcare system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Brian Kavanaugh.
There we go. Thank you again. We had a several-hour hearing last week on rental assistance particularly, and because that was a hearing about things that are not in the executive budget, and so we thought it was important to do that, to highlight that. But I want to just start by thanking all of you, and particularly those who are sharing your experience of not having adequate services and funding available in housing, because it's just an incredibly important perspective for us to hear in every time we gather for an event like this to talk about policy in dollars and cents. It's absolutely critical, and your testimony hopefully will have an impact on others that are part of the decision making that we need to make over the next few weeks. I do want to just take a moment to just highlight the Affordable Independent Senior Housing Resident Assistance Program, just because it is sort of it's for some people on the panel and in the legislature, it may be a new idea, even though the bill's been around for a few years, and this is another bill that I co-sponsor with Assemblymember Rosenthal. But just talking, this is services to provide resident assistance in existing housing that is otherwise, where the housing has been funded by the state, and there are not services that are comparable in federal, that would be available in federally funded housing for a similar population. Is that accurate? And can you just elaborate a little more on why that would be so beneficial to provide that? And again, I would just note, this is not, most of the things we're talking about today have been capital expenditures. This is an operating cost, which is a little harder for us to do sometimes. But if you could just talk about the need for that.
Yeah, this is for independent senior housing, so maybe it's 202 HUD housing, or it could be LIHTC, some other housing, but independent, so where there's not services. And what we find is that people go, if their needs increase, some of the services are really difficult to get, like a home health aide. And so without it, the only alternative is a nursing home or higher level of care, when that could be avoided. So we see this as an easy way to avoid some of those really expensive.
Yeah, and I will say that while there is a comparable program in federally funded buildings, as Stacy mentioned, it's very underfunded, and only about a third of the buildings in New York State that are HUD funded that could qualify for a service coordinator do actually have a service coordinator. And of course, with everything happening at the federal level, that funding is in question. But the resident assistants are available on site and at resident request, and when they need it, to connect them with the services they need.